How do you see Thailand's handled the way they have been handling the pandemic?
Yeah, I think it's true. For weeks now, we've seen a leveling off of cases in Thailand, even a decrease in recent weeks. And I think this has been in large part due to the physical distancing measures that we've lived, the lockdowns, the shutdowns, the slowdowns. These have really served to create physical distance between people. And I think this has been very effective in slowing transmission. I think if we have a concern, it's really everybody's concern. And that's as we ease these measures, we'll need to keep in mind one of the lessons we've learned from this virus, and that is its very explosive potential. We've seen countries that were thought to have had the virus under control, such as Singapore and Japan, now experiencing very dramatic outbreaks of the virus. So we should never underestimate the danger that this virus poses.
And Dr. Curtis, right now Thailand is planning to have second phase of easing restriction probably on 7th of May. Do you think the timing is about right?
Yeah, I think the idea of phasing the lifting of the restrictions is a good one, and the idea of doing it every 2 weeks is not it's not an arbitrary decision. 2 weeks really represents the incubation period of the virus. So if we ease one set of restrictions, and we're strategic about easing one set of restrictions, we wait 2 weeks to see if there's an impact, to see if easing those restrictions has created a situation where we're seeing increased transmission of the virus. We wait for the 2 weeks. If we don't see it in the 2 weeks, go ahead and move to the second phase. And I think this, again, is a phased and strategic approach, and I think it's the right one.
And at this point, what should Thailand be careful of trying to prevent second wave of coronavirus pandemic in Thailand?
It's very difficult to predict when there will be a second wave in Thailand or anywhere for that matter. I think what we can be sure of, though, is that a second wave or a new outbreak of COVID-19 in Thailand, whether it comes or how severe it comes, is in large part in our hands, and it will continue to depend on the continuing great work of the public health teams in identifying and isolating cases, that work that I talked about, tracing contacts. But most importantly, it will depend on the efforts of all of us in this country to follow the basic measures that we know work. And these are the measures that we talk about all the time.
Mr. Curtis, the European countries have been successful with this pledging conference a few days ago. They were able to raise billions of euros to help finance research into vaccine and to help poorer countries deal with the situation. So I'm sure that the World Health Organization certainly would want to see other countries in this region follow in the footsteps. So have any advice for countries in ASEAN, for example, maybe to follow what the European countries has done?
I think what you're referring to is this recent consortium that's been built called it's an initiative, a consortium of partners, global partners, agencies, and it's called the Access to COVID-19 Tools Accelerator, and it's really a commitment on the part of a large number of partners and of agencies to do two things. And one is to accelerate the development of vaccines and therapeutics, but it's also to ensure that there will be ultimately equitable access to any of these therapeutics and vaccines that are developed. This is really key. And I think this is one of the things that it's really, and I think these two things, they're being done at a global level. They can also be done at a regional level. It's really critical that countries share information, science, technologies, progress on development of vaccines and therapeutics at the sub-regional level.
Dr. Curtis, one of the crucial factors in Thailand that WHO identify as the very good case that brings success to Thailand is local health volunteers at the village level. Can you expand on that, and what should Thailand do more on this?
Yeah, this is one of the things that was really, when I first came to Thailand, was really, really remarkable. I think village health volunteers are one of the elements of Thailand's primary healthcare system that make it extremely strong. There are over 1 million village volunteers who are in direct contact every day with the Thai population. And this is a tremendous resource at any time, but it is especially important in the context of COVID-19 and of this pandemic. I think volunteers can do many things, and I think what they're doing very well is educating the population about COVID, about what they should be looking out for, the signs and symptoms, and also help to monitor individuals who've been put into quarantine or help to trace contacts. Again, this is very tedious, hard work. And I think the real advantage is that village health volunteers, they know that they're closest to the people. They know what's going on in villages, and they're very acutely aware of any unusual public health events. So if there's a cluster of COVID-like illness in a community, they would be quickly aware of it, and they would notify that to public health authorities so that they may react quickly. So I think the role of village health volunteers is really important. And I know this system is very highly developed in Thailand. And I think it will be really important as we progress and as we move through this pandemic and we learn lessons. It will be really important to document this. And I think it's a potential best practice for Thailand to show the world.